Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a best of 3 between Shin and Byun, in which Byun opens up with a 14 supply barracks into a 15 supply barracks. No, sorry, he cancels the SCV. He is just building workers to piss me off and then cancelling them again. 14-14. So a low worker count all in. That isn't necessarily all in, but it needs to deal some damage. This is it's one of these things where you need to deal significant damage that it should be labeled as an all-in. But at the same time, sometimes you kill like 6 workers and, you know, do a bunch of damage and maybe you kill a queen and 8 lings. And you kind of can play a macro game because there are some follow-ups off of the 2 racks. The fact that he cut 1 worker here before the depot, this was a 13 depot, 14-14 barracks, does mean that the amount of damage that he needs to deal increases significantly. As at the same time we have Shin here opening up with that queen. Oh, this was a pull first. This is what we call a worst case scenario. Oh, that is not nice. That is not nice. Yeah, these lings are gonna come out quick. These drones are popping out fast as well. This marine is gonna take an absolute beating here. I think Byun, with his 15 years of knowledge, should know that this was not a hatch first. So I'm kind of surprised that he keeps going here. Like, he should realize that the lings are gonna come out soon, but he actually seems somewhat surprised. He's like, oh, your hatchery was 20 seconds later than normal, and now your lings are out 20 seconds faster than usual. What is going on over here? He actually sends him a question. What? Does he not know the timing of a pool first? That is very confusing. No, I think he's trolling, right? He maybe the question mark was meant as a why the hell are you playing pool first? Have you been hit in the head recently? Like a steel beam or something? Like, I think it's more of a question mark like that. There's no way that Byun looked at that hatchery timing and thought to himself, this looks like a standard hatch first. Like I did. I often talk poorly about the knowledge that Terrans have in this game, but this would be pushing it, even for Terran players. Talking about being hit on the head by steel beams, this is one of my favorite stories to tell. Well, not a favorite, it's not a fun story, but once we were playing at a DreamHack, I think it was in Montreal in 2017, and we were in a player area, and the player area was kind of like shut off from the rest of the world by these like large kind of like black curtains, which were maybe 4 or 5 meters high, and they were suspended over like a bit of rope that was tied between big metal beams that were standing up, like 4 or 5 meters tall, like large metal beams. And at some point, like we were just sitting there playing, some venue employee knocked over one of these metal beams, and the metal beam, like it just freaking fell, poof, straight onto the head of a Zerg player from Sweden called Swordov, and it just poof knocked him out. I was sitting very close to him. And it just hit him on the head. Douche. Like it hit his glasses first, I think. It was kind of from the side. And the head was like a thick metal beam. And as his head slammed down on the desk, he paused the game. Like with his, I don't know, his head or his hands that slammed the desk. The game got paused during that. Yeah, it looked very bad. I actually thought that he was like seriously injured. I think he had like a pretty major concussion after that. And the employee that knocked over the metal beam, he just ran away and said he was going to get some help, and we never saw him again. I think he was probably afraid of getting sued or something. Like, I did not do that. Which is kind of a dick move, but I was going to say understandable, but not really understandable. It's just a dick move. So that's, whenever I think of someone getting hit on the head, I always can spawn this visual image in my head of sort of being knocked down by a big metal beam there. God, that's actually one of the scarier moments in my life. Because that thing was, like, it was thick, you know? That metal beam was solid, it was strong, it was difficult to lift. Like, it required like 2-3 guys to, you know, to get it off there. It's not easy. It had nothing to do with this game, but I thought it was an interesting story to share. Meanwhile, we have a third CC over here on the gold base. An interesting move as well, as the follow-up is going to be... Ooh, look at this. This is fake bio into real mech. And this is one of these situations where you might be pulling too many tricks for your own good, you know? Hidden CC, fake bio, real mech, rah, rah, rah. And then the other guy builds 7 roaches and you die. That is a serious possibility here, because right now we don't really have anything that is being constructed. Like, anything at all. So there is a decent chance that these guys do just straight up win. I think you need to drop a depot on here. If you don't, yeah, there we go. Byun's not feeling it anymore, I think. Byun is not feeling it. He's already chatting, man. Nasty roachers. There comes the GG. And Shin is gonna win game number 1. Actually felt like a very weird pressure out of Shin as well. Just kind of running across the map with these 7-8 roaches. But it worked. Sometimes these weird types of pressures, if you're not sure what your opponent is doing, I don't even mind going for an all-out, all-in. Like, sometimes when you're really confused, like your opponent's goal is to confuse you in many different ways, and then just, you force them to show their hand when you're, you know, trying to kill them. You know, you throw a knife at someone, they're gonna show their true colors. That is what I've learned in life as well. Is you'll be extremely aggressive with someone. We want to know what their true intentions are. This always does wonders for your interpersonal relationships as well. As we have a spawning pool. Oh, look at this. For whatever reason, I always like it when people put buildings like completely in line with another building. So like, you know, the spawning pool here completely lines up with this extractor. The spawning pool is a 3x3 building. The extractor is 3x3. Like this, I love this stuff. I freaking hate it when people build a macro hatch in their main base and they do it like 1 hex to the left. Like, it just feels so wrong. And I feel like this would be a good way to trigger me, because I would scout something like that and I'd start shaking, you know? It's like if people would, instead of expanding to their third base, they'd expand into their main with the hex 1 to the left. Like I just start shaking and I will not, you know, I will lose control of my left hand or something like that. That was a nice grenade as well. I just bounced himself out of the way. Went for a little flight. And he regains health anyway. It's not the end of the world. Still's gonna get 1 link. Might actually get a 2nd link or even a drone. That would be sick. It is so hard to describe how much better the Reaper control of super high level player is compared to just high level player. Like the small things that they do, I don't even quite know how they do it or what it is. I don't think I could describe it, but you can see like super high level micro and then just a regular high level micro. I mean, you have like freaking Byun and Clem like controlling these dudes. Like it's actually crazy how viable this unit feels. And then whenever you're using it yourself and you accidentally grenade your Reaper 3 times in a row and then you lose it to the Queen while they're throwing down a creep tumor, you realize maybe this unit ain't for you. Ooh, Shin's gonna follow us up with a little bit of a Baneling bust here. He says 2 Reapers are fun, but what's more fun is 8 Banelings straight up your depot. And what is Byun's follow-up? It's going to be a 3 Rex off of 2 bases. This 3rd Rex isn't super well hidden. This is like kind of hiding in plain sight, but not entirely. This is hiding behind whatever is hiding in plain sight. Because this is kind of hiding in plain sight. And here, you know, you walk into this depot hard enough, you'll see a tech lab and a barracks. I think with a link, yeah, should be fine. Okay, it's going to be 7. Oh, there we go. 8 Banelings, beautiful. Do I hear 9? Did someone on the floor say 9? Oh, Reapers are trying to scout for a Baneling bust. This feels like a bait almost, you know? It's like Byun knows that Shin wants the Baneling bust is. And all he needs to do is to press the right buttons to trigger this response. I think it might work as well. Look at this. Oh, Depot's gonna fall. There's still 2 Banelings. They need to be targeted down. They both fall. 1 more Banelings now. Baneling waddles in forward. We have enough damage to take it out. SCV's being pulled off the line. As a lot of SCVs are disappearing. Reapers move back home. 10 SCVs have fallen, but it's 19 workers to 22. And with a full wall and stim finishing up, combat shield halfway done, I am having a difficult time seeing how in the world Shin is gonna win this game as he taps out and the series is all tied up. The thing about Baneling busts is that they either look very weak or very strong. And in this case, they kind of looked pretty weak. You know, they bust through the depot and then you just don't deal enough damage. The thing with Baneling busts is that you need so many larvae to make it work. If you're thinking of like roach attacks, like if you're doing a 9 or a 10 roach attack, you're using 10 larvae and that's it. And you can morph Ravagers and that costs you money. So maybe you'll have to cut a Queen or 2. But you're not using that many larvae. But with Baneling bust, like it is always all in. There's no such thing as a macro Baneling bust. Like you don't just bust out 2 depots and then go, like, you know what, that was worth it. Like we forced a response. Like a Baneling bust, you're investing a crap ton of gas to bust down buildings that are protecting the Terran. And then all your larvae go into links to kind of deal that finishing blow. So it's always way more all-in than any type of roach attack is ever going to be. And that's kind of what we saw there in that previous game as well. Like, okay, he did kill 10 workers, which if this was a 7 or 8 roach attack, it's like, okay, 10 workers are killed. I have 3 bases behind it. We're now up 15 workers. But that's not at all the case when you're playing Ling Bane. So it's just one of these frustrating things. This time, Byun is opening up with a more standard start, a 1 gas expansion. Low ground command center, you love to see it if you're into the low ground stuff. If you're not into the low ground stuff, then you probably don't love to see it. Then why the hell are you watching TVZ? Because we're going to see a lot of low ground stuff. Extractor coming in. Oh, this is the Shin special. I think this is actually the Shin special. So this is the 15 hatch, 15 overlord, 15 pool. A very popular build right now in CVT. Whenever European Zergs do this, they often go triple hatch gasless. Whenever Shin plays it, he plays double double hatchery, late gas. Gets roaches out. Sometimes speeds some roaches. And then pops off on 2 bases. And goes really quickly into freaking Ultralisk. And he loves this build. He's been playing it a crap ton. I don't know if he loves this build, but he's been playing it a crap ton. Like, if this build was a girl, he's been going on a lot of dates with her. And then, because of that, we could kind of assume that he likes, you know, going on dates with that person. This is the same reason why I think he likes this build. It's possible that he is like a sadomasochist. And he hates himself, you know? He just likes hurting himself. This girl's really mean. Every single time Shin orders a coffee, he's like, ew, you're taking that type of coffee? That, you know, turns your teeth yellow? I'm like, what? It's messed up. You get a weird type of kind of glaze over your teeth when you drink too much coffee, though. I do notice it as well. Ever since I upped my coffee dosage significantly. I used to drink 2-3 coffees a day, and now I'm cruising at a, you know, somewhere in the low 20s. Now pretty much every time I get up from my computer, about 20 to 25 times a day, I run to my coffee machine, press some buttons, and the brown gold comes out, baby. We slurp it up. This was not real. Do not worry about my health. I'm not actually drinking 30 coffees a day. Sometimes I make a joke, which isn't obvious that it's a joke because there's no punchline and it's not funny. And then I'll get like 7 emails of people worrying about my health and sending me articles that is not actually safe to, you know, ingest 20 orange peels in a row. And like, I know, guys, I am dumb, but not that stupid. As, Byun is going to commit here to the double Hellion Reaper run by. I bet someone is regretting that right now because he decided he killed nothing. He killed nothing and he lost 2 units. That is probably the worst outcome he could have had. These Lings are now on a wild goose chase. I never quite understood if with the wild goose chase you are chasing a wild goose or it is the wild goose doing the majority of the chasing. Like you're being chased by a group of wild geese. Which coincidentally happened to me once when I was going for a run. There's like this nice little lake that I used to run around. And there were like large gangs of geese that would waddle around the lakes. And they kind of owned the place. And it was I was going for a run and it was like fall. But it had frozen. So the leaves, they were wet, but also frozen. And I slipped on top of some of these leaves and I fell over. And a gang of geese that were nearby, they just started angrily quacking towards me. And that is probably one of my scariest interactions I've had with a wild animal. A feral animal. Because that's what they were. They were crazy, these geese. There's like hundreds of them. Okay, maybe like 20 or so. But they came up to me waddling quite aggressively. They didn't do anything, but I think they were ready to seriously mess me up. And then I ran away, and if they would have kept chasing me, that would have been a wild goose chase. Then if I would have gotten my friends, and I would have started chasing them to hunt them, that also would have been a wild goose chase. Kind of works both ways, I guess. Ooh, Shin sending in a single Ling. Yeah, I would have just gone with everything, gone for the surround. I like that. Shin kind of has... he has like diamond player mind every now and again. I'm a huge fan of that. is where you assume your opponent is a moron. Which, I'm not saying all diamonds are morons, but it is more common at that level. Is where they just leave their unit stand there for a bit. You just hope that they're not paying attention. I think that's a good thing to do, like these types of skill checks. Especially if it doesn't cost you anything. Yeah, just go. Freaking go, man. Oh, Byun, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Haha, you're sleeping! Guess what? You're dead now. Eat that. Aliens go down. You can collect the scraps later, you prick. Nice one. Okay, first two medevacs are out. As these two banshees. Do they even have cloak? They don't have cloak. This has been getting really popular. This no cloak nonsense needs to stop. People just building 1 or 2 banshees without cloak. People are realizing that cloak only is a big deal when no one is getting detection. But literally everyone their mom gets detection these days. And even when they see just banshee, they're still getting detection majority of the time. So you see, you have these spores around. Yeah, overseers. Overlord speed. We're gonna get 1-1 and combat shields. This finishes really fast, by the way. 7 minutes. Wow, that is quick as hell. 3 more barracks coming in. Pop quiz, what build is this? It has 8 racks before the fort base. Ding-ding-ding-ding. It's 8 racks. Congratulations. You'll be going to the second round of easy questions in StarCraft 2. One of them is making a mistake here. You know, like this trade is good for one person and not for the other. I don't know who it was good for though. Maybe it was just even. I think this was worse for Byun because he loses a little bit of like aggression on the map. These banshees are going to clear the 5th base. Force a cancel. Kill a drone. Did he just kill like a critter or something? What the hell was over here? A changeling maybe. There was no body. I think critters usually provide a body. Oh, banshees are still here. I like that Shin tried again. It's like, surely these banshees have left by now. And then they didn't, and had to cancel another time. But I feel like Shin has bigger issues right now, in the form of about 45 marines and 3 tanks in a scary position. Gonna get a big Ling run by. Oh. Shapes with Byun. It feels like he's playing freaking Tetris with depots over here. Has a bunch of marines and a tank at home. Remains kind of mobile here with this right side army. He's gonna kill this 5th base as well. 2-2 is not done yet. I wonder if Byun wants to wait for the big fight, you know? Oh, if he gets over here, that would be crazy. This would be a good spot for tanks, no? Oh, baby. That does not look nice. That does not look nice at all. These marines are gonna try to deal with these links. At the same time, tank in the back here is being active too. Oh, 17 workers have gone down. That's a lot of workers that just fell. Banshee's now at home. As this fort base is gonna get cleared, we have this tank support over here. Byun managed to kill all of this. You know what would be neat for Byun right now? Is if he manages to kind of set up shop over here. He's gonna go home temporarily though. That is not what I had expected. I think these banshees should be staying home. He's gonna clear all this creep. And he's just gonna fully send it back home. And go somewhere else. Oh, you get a full-on pickup. Maybe into the main base. No, not into the main base. Ultralisk Cavern on the way. Vipers on the way. 2-2 upgrades finishing for both players. I always wonder if ultras are correct here. Like, it does put a timer on the opponent, but at the same time, it's like... It is really expensive. It is just really expensive. The army supply for Byun is freaking crazy, too. Look at this, 132 to 94. 3-digit number is higher in that case. Ultra Cavern potentially in some trouble. Queen gets taken out. This is a neat position. Lots of Banelings are moving over, but that means there's nothing left at home right now to defend over here on this, what was once the fort base, but is now the 3rd. Oh, tanks are in position, not in the greatest positions. These are very flankable, as they have no protection whatsoever. Oi, oi, oi. No protection beyond that is scary. Don't want to catch anything. Like a flank. One of the worst STDs you can get. Oh. Here come the links. I'm not sure if they're flanking. This is a very large flanking motion, if it is. We have a hidden base on the left. And these ultras might actually make it happen. We have 2 ultras on the way. Ultralisk Cavern. We have the Vipers. We have the tank in the back. We have poor eco for both players. But poor tech for only one player. And that player is Byun. Does he have tech labs here? Oh, he does have the tech lab. So he could theoretically start building stuff. He just hasn't done it yet. So right now we have 2 bases mining versus... pretty much 2 bases mining, because this also isn't mining. We don't have 3-3 on the way, and Marauders start. Oh, Lynx! Lynx are gonna die here, yeah. Marines versus Lynx at this point in the game is really freaking scary. Vipers are moving in forward. Ultras have shown their face now. That means we're gonna see a couple of rounds of Marauders. This game is starting to get seriously exciting. Even income, close in supply. Get double these guys as well. On the right side. So we have another fight in the middle. Where's this tank going? It's not shooting anything. Where's the Marauders? I thought we built like 8 Marauders. Okay, we have 7 Marauders out. They're not with this fight quite yet. Right side is gonna get cleared. Left side is gonna get cleared. So we're gonna play 3 base versus 3 base. This is such a confusing game. Doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. More Marauders coming out, 3-3 upgrades on the way. It's surprising to me that Byun is the one that's upgrading. It's not bad, it's just surprising. I'm not angry, just disappointed. So we have Liberators on the way. I think Shin is too afraid of dying, where he doesn't really want to invest in anything else. He is slightly outmining his opponent, but really ever so slightly. A little bit of gas extra, like maybe 50, 60, 70 minerals more a minute as well. They're like one bad trade away from just getting absolutely clocked in the face. As the Viper went back into the main base to gather a bit of energy. We have 4 Vipers as well. 3-3 upgrades are going to be a game changer. I'd love to see, you know what I'd love to see? A freaking fort base here for Byun. I think that wouldn't be bad. But maybe he just wants to float this thing over to the fort. That's also a possibility. Liberators moving in forward to go harass. Fort base is a target. Third base is a target. And here we go. Lots of Marines still in the medevacs. And here go the tanks. Lightning Cloud number 1 goes down. Parasitic bombs going down on those medevacs as well. So Marauders in the back are dealing a lot of damage. At the same time, we have a double drop into the main base. This Liberator is set up all over here. It is 106 army supply to 100. 3-3 is about to finish up. I'm actually surprised that Byun decided to go for it before his 3-3 is done. But, I mean, that is the way of the world, I guess. That is the way of the world. All Vipers, -1, stayed alive, I think. No, all of them stayed alive. We have 4 Vipers that are here right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. As this 7 Marine medevac moves towards the far left. It's going to move on top of this little Jurgling. There we go. Marauders. Lightning Cloud gets cast. Couple Liberators are going to set up shop over here as well. 3-3 finishes up after this fight, which is unfortunate for Byun, because I think with 3-3 he would have absolutely crushed this, and now he's still kind of absolutely crushing this. There's no way for these Ultras to kind of catch these units. They can just keep running away like little losers, shooting darts from a distance. We get a burrow, but it's not going to be enough. And I'm afraid for Shin right now that he just doesn't have the stuff. He doesn't have what's necessary to win this game. If he doesn't have what's necessary to win this game, that means he's most likely losing this game. How unfortunate. As the Lynx now streaming in forward, Marine count isn't that high. That means that Lynx are kind of okay against Marauders in a straight-up engagement. However, without Adrenal Glands, without the 3-3 upgrades, maybe Marauders are just completely fine. Queens in the back are actually dealing a lot of damage. Link Bane is going to clean this up much nicer than the Ultras ever did. And Byun is losing a lot of stuff here in the rally. Queen's trying to move in, but probably needed the Viper Parasitic Bomb to help him out. We have a single Liberator here that's doing God's work as he's taking out a lot of drones. Can we get some Parasitic Bombs on stuff? We have 1 Parasitic Bomb. Do I hear a second Parasitic Bomb? So far the answer is no. The main CC has now landed on the fort base location, as this base is about to die. This base is not mining. And these Lynx and Banes are not going to be capable of busting it. And that means that Shin is rapidly running out of options. The 3-3 upgrades really being a big factor in here, and the lack of infestors, I think, making it so hard to catch those Marauders earlier on. I feel like with less Ultras, more Ling Bane, and maybe some Adrenal Glands, this could have been a W, because the issue was just the fights off creep. You can't catch 25 Marauders off creep unless you have some type of catch, and that catch could be a Crept on a Lynx, or it could be an Infestor, but it can't just be 8 Ultras A-moving, trying to catch them. And that's what we're seeing here right now. And that is sad. And that is the way of the world. Shin is down 40 supply. The fort base is active for Byun. And we have 5 Banelings that are out already. Waiting to do something. But we also have 19 Marauders and 30 Marines. Also waiting for these Banelings to show up. I'd be shocked if Byun just sits back at home and does nothing now. His Liberators moving towards the far right. Yeah, he can go for a big move out at this moment. A huge move out. So Lynx are moving towards the left side of the map. I love the Byun is just so carefully scanning everything, making sure there's no burrowed Banelings anywhere. And here comes potentially our final fight of the game. As we get a Parasitic Bomb on the Medevac and on the Liberator. And that probably should be it. GG's gonna get called. Byun wins the series with a 2-1